Hey everybody, Bowling Fool here. So on this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill up a 16-pound ebonite crusher. This is the purple one, the crusher hybrid that I got from Buddies. One cool thing about Buddies is if you find their sale items, 16 pounds are pretty cheap. So you can get 16-pound balls from 69 to 80 bucks pretty much. So I got this one for around 70 bucks on Buddies. It's only a pound more than the 15, so if you're bowling 15s, you may want to give a 16 a shot. It's not that much heavier, and you can actually drill out the finger holes a little bit deeper to kind of take more weight out of it. But at 16 pounds, 0 ounces, this is the new hybrid. It's got the HK22C, so it smells like citrus. And we're going to drill this up. So I thought I'd do a little bit different video than doing shorts like I normally do, and just kind of do a DIY with my new mill press here on how to drill up a bowling ball. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so the numbers on this crusher are 16 pounds, 0 ounces. The top is 3.4 ounces. The dot is 2 to 3 inches. And the RG is 2.501. The diff is 0.047. Intermediate diff is 0.014. And like I said, HK22 smells like citrus. Smells good. I thought I'd do a little bit different layout. I haven't really done this type of layout yet. I've got close, but I'm going to do 55 by 4 by 35. And so when you have an asymmetrical ball, you just bypass the CG and go right down to the intermediate diff. You draw a line from the dot to the intermediate diff. And one cool thing about this ball is it has dot technology. So that hollow circle right here means you can drill into that and you won't void the warranty, which is really cool. And that's only found on Brunswick brand balls. Radical does not have that yet. So we're just going to draw a line from the dot down to the intermediate diff. And I'm using the Pika dry pencils found on Amazon. It's the best pencils I found for writing on bowling balls, for doing layouts. And once again, too, when you're using the ProSect, there's a little line right here. So you line that up, and then you're going to line the line up right here on this side, so the left side of it. And then I go 55. So I just go right here, find 55, draw a small little line here. And then I go from the dot, line that up. And we'll go 4 inches. We're going to give this pretty good flare. Shortest I've gone is 3.5. I believe you don't want to go any shorter than 3 3/8, I believe. They don't recommend it. All right, let's go 4. We take our ProSect, we line it up here, line the left side with a line, and then we go 35. Find 35 right there. Draw a line. And if you're left-handed, this is all going to be backwards for you. So you just do everything the opposite here. All right, so there's 35. So we have 55 by 4 by 35. We'll just write that down there. And then this last line we did is the VAL, vertical access line. And we want to get our PAP. So our positive access point, my positive access point is 4 5/8 by 1 3/4 up. Okay, so we're going 1 3/4 down when we're doing our layout. Draw a little line right there on 1 3/4. And then we take this and we go across to 4 5/8, which is essentially 4 10/16, right? Line that up again. And draw a line. Now my span because this is half the span mark. So my span is 4 1/4, so I'm going 2 1/8 on each side, nice and easy. Draw a little line there, 2 1/8. One here again, 2 1/8. Line it up, do a line. Come over here, this is the line for the thumb, the top of the thumb hole. And then we just double check. All right, so we got, let's see what we can do here. We got 4 1/4, and we got 4 1/4. Exactly. All right, do this side. And 4 1/4. Perfect. And the last thing we're going to do is draw the bridge. So the cool thing about the Prosect is if you draw a line on either side of that, it gives you a perfect 0.25 inch. And there you go. So there's our layout. All right. Puts the pin just above the ring finger and the thumb just to the left of the intermediate diff. So now we're going to put it on the mill press. All right, so I got the ball and the jig. I'm going to put the top plate on the ball here. And we're going to line up the table to what our pitches are. So we're going to start with the ring finger first. And the ring finger is 5/16 table forward. All right, move the table forward 5/16. And we're going to do 3/8 table left. All right, so we're going to get a razor blade. We have our 31/32 drill bit for the fingers because I do inserts. Make it nice and easy and uniform. And so we have our pitches on the table. And all we're going to do is line this drill bit up with the lines that we made on there. And you want to make sure you see this line here going vertical. Make sure that's straight. I put 2 lines on the top plate of my jig to make sure they're lined up. If you have this turned left or right, your pitches are going to be off when you go to measure them. So you don't want to do that. Okay, the bridge is lined up. And your top blade doesn't need to be super tight, just enough to put pressure on the ball. And we've got 400 RPM on the drill press right now. You don't really need any more than that. If you do a lot more, you're just going to wear your bit out a lot faster. You can actually go lower than 400 if you want. You just have to drill a little bit slower. All right, got our shot back on. And if you guys have drilled bowling balls, all the different brands, you know that Brunswick is by far the easiest to drill, very smooth. And I go down just below 2 inches to run the length of the insert. Bring it up every now and then to suck all that bowling ball debris out of the hole. You don't really have to worry about going super slow on the fingers. You're not really drilling that deep of a hole. You may see people doing step downs, so different size drill bits as you're drilling holes. I don't do that. I personally think it's unnecessary, but you can do that if you want. All right, so we got the line pretty good. Now we're going to move over to the middle finger. So we got we already have our reverse pitch set into 5/16. Both fingers are at 5/16, so we're all good to go there. The only thing we need to do is move the table right 5/16. So we're just doing the opposite. And then we just lock the table in place and we move this ball over so that these lines are lined up with the bit. We'll bring this down a little bit, make it easier, lock it in place. So I know that that line is 0.25. I go a little bit wider. I like to have 0.30. If I ever do plug this up later down the road, less chance of that bridge cracking when I drill out the bigger holes. And we just go down a little bit, check our lines. We hit our lines dead on, so we're looking pretty good there. You have to be careful with your pitches. If you get your pitches off a little bit or your bridge is too close, you have a chance of joining those drill holes, the finger holes down at the bottom, and that will definitely weaken your bridge and actually void your warranty if you do that. So just be careful. That's why it's very important to get these lines exactly lined up. And there we go. Finger hole is pretty much donezo. Easy peasy. The drill bit is not hot at all. So that's why I don't bother with a step down on the finger holes. It just doesn't get hot enough. The whole reason people do step downs is to prevent a lot of the heat. So drilling produces heat. The less heat on the bowling ball, the better. If you're in no rush too, you can just take your time, do half the hole, stop for about a minute, come back to it if you want to do that. If you're really paranoid about heat. I'm not super paranoid. I haven't had any problem with any balls cracking that I have drilled, so I'm not really too concerned about that. And we just double check. We want 4.5. Okay, so we're going to drill right at the bottom of that line there for the thumb. Or sorry, 4.25. Now we're going to get a 1.5 inch bit out. Put that in here. This is the one where I used 2 bits. So this one was a lot cheaper than this one. So this is your Jopo. This was 260 bucks. This was 70 or 80 bucks. All right, so I do the first half with this, and then I finish it up with the Jopo bit. If you just have one bit, you're just going to probably have to sharpen them a little, have them sharpen a little bit more often. It's not a big deal. All right, now we're going to do our thumb pitches. So now we have 1/4 table back. Okay, line that up, lock it in place, 1/4 table back, and 1/8 table left. Lock it in place. Now our job right now is to line this bit up with that line that we drew. And the next thing we do is take our razor blade and line it up with the horizontal line here. And looks pretty good. That's where you want to take your time. You don't want to rush around this part. Just make sure that you got the measurements right. And then lock it down in place. Once again, it doesn't have to be super tight. Now, when you're drilling with the Jopo bit, Jopo actually recommends 500 RPM, but you can go a little bit less. It's not a huge deal. And then you just slowly go down. Make sure it's lined up. And we got right where we want it to with that horizontal line there, your span line. Some people may drill the thumb first versus the finger. It's all up to you. This one produces a little bit more heat just because it's a bigger drill bit. So this one you want to stop every now and then. Vacuum up those shavings out of the inside of the ball. And I'm putting maybe 5 pounds of pressure on this handle here, not too much. And so we can stop on that one. And then replace this bit with the Jopo. It has the collar on it. So it automatically stops. You don't have to fear of going too far. And So this bit could probably use a sharpening. I've drilled a lot of balls with this bit, and it just takes a little bit more pressure when I'm drilling, and that indicates that this bit could probably use a sharpening. You can either send them back to Jayhawk, I believe it's $10 a bit plus the shipping, or if you can find a local place near your house that sharpens blades or bits, anywhere from $5 to $10 a bit. And then I get down ball level and make sure that I don't press down too hard. Once that collar hits the ball, that's where you stop. Right? If you go down too far, you're going to put an indent on your ball. Trust me, I've done that before. And it does a lot more damage on a spare ball because it's plastic. This one, not so much. It's reactive, but your spare balls, you want to be very careful with not going too far. And that's it, right? It hit the ball. We don't need to go down any farther than that. Take this bit out. Barely warm, right? So when you split it up with two bits, it makes it a little bit easier on your drill bits. They don't have to work twice. They don't heat up as much. All right, so we have the ball off the mill press. Next thing we're going to do is just vacuum out the holes. Now we'll do just a quick measurement. I like to do these measurements with my calipers and also my pitch gauges, especially since I just set up my mill press. I want to make sure everything's working correctly. So don't take for granted you've been drilling a lot of balls and you just think the measurements are good and your press is working good. Just always double check, because you never know. Something may be off and it could save you. So we got 0.944, 0.947. Well, once again, 31/30 seconds is 0.968. So we're good to go on that. If you see more than 968 on this gauge, there's something wrong with your drill bit, your press, your table may be wobbling like crazy. So just remember, you don't want the holes to be bigger than the size, right? This one's 0.32. That one's already set. And then you check the diameter of the thumb hole, and we got 1.46. Once again, this is a 1.5, so if you saw more than 1.5, you're in trouble. You want to check out and see what the heck's going on there. And I do this on every single ball that I drill. Now we've got our pitch gauges, and we're going to check to make sure that our mill press and XY table is giving us the proper pitch. So we've got 5/16. You can see that. It shows 5/16 on that, on the ring finger. We'll go to the middle finger, and that should also be 5/16. Boom, 5/16, perfect, right? Now we check the ring finger, and we should have 3/8 table left. Okay, there you go, there's 3/8. And then this one should be 5/16. Boom, 5/16, just like that. Our fingers are good. Now we're going to do our thumb. This one should be 1/4 table back. Boom, 1/4 right on the dot, if you can see that. And then we go 1/8. Boom, perfect, right? So all our pitches are good, all our depths are good, all our diameters of the holes are good. We are set. So a couple things you can do if you do not want to buy one of these are very expensive. This is a bevel sander, and this is to bevel out the holes here. You only want to bevel out the finger holes and not the thumb, because we're fitting Jopo. So you turn this on, put this in, and kind of bevel out the top of the holes. Another option for you is you get one of these. Okay, one of my subscribers, Too Tall, gave me this, and then you put this in the drill bit, or sorry, the chuck, and it just bring it down. You have your pitches set up, and you bring it down. Very inexpensive versus this. This is about 170 bucks. So you have two different options you can do. All right, so these are really quick. You want to make sure that you have a brand new sanding pad on here. These are pretty cheap. You get them with the packs of 50 or 100. And just take it in there and then that's it, right? Just a couple. That's it. That's all you need to do. And to some, that was probably too much, right? Especially if you have a new sanding pad, you really don't need to, probably didn't need to do as much as I did, but I've got it rounded. I've got it beveled. If you don't bevel it, your finger holes will crack. Trust me. If you don't bevel it, you void the warranty when you roll that ball down the lane. So some of my subscribers say their PSOs do not bevel, which is ridiculous. It's one of the most easiest things you can do. If you just saw that, it probably took me maybe 10 seconds total to bevel out those holes. And so next we got I use turbo grips. And so I'm going to install the grips, and then I'm going to install the Jopo, and then we're all set. One thing I'll do is I'll check the measurement on this as well too. We got 4 1/4, 4 1/4. All right, so I have my Jopo, I have my rasp or file, and I'm just going to file this down for about 30 seconds, just make it rough so the glue will adhere to this when you put it inside the ball. And if you don't have a file, you can also use sanding paper. It does just the same thing. The file I found creates deeper grooves for more security when this is in the ball. All right, so all we do is we're going to do a test fit. We have a line here, and you're going to line that up with this bottom line here. Boom. And test fit looks good. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're just kind of clean that out with the rubbing alcohol. Be careful that you don't cut your fingers. This is a very sharp edge. And that's it. Pretty much evaporates within 5 seconds. And I use Bob Smith 2-ounce glue. This is on Amazon for 12 bucks. The only problem is, because it's so big, that the top sometimes cracks off. So that's the only bummer about the big containers. And I'm going to line these up. So 21 is my ring finger. Slide that in place. And the turbo is unique because they have the little knobs on the inside there for a little bit better grip. And I have 45 on my middle finger. And I just get these down flush. Push it down a little bit on each side to get it down flush and maybe a little tight. If it's too tight, you just get the beveler out and bevel it a little bit more. Okay, and all I do is I get the screwdriver out here and I drop a dab of glue down at the bottom there. Just need a little bit, because the more you use, the more it's going to push up out of that hole. It's a very tight fit. Like I said, my very first balls that I was drilling, I put a liberal amount of glue in there thinking, oh, I just need a lot more glue. Well, it all came oozing up out of that hole. So just be very careful. You just really need one drop, one tiny drop. And I hold it there so it's flush, maybe 10 seconds to let it dry. And then I do the other side. And just be careful. If you have a bigger hole in this cap, it drops a lot more glue down there. So it's a lot better when this container is brand new. because it has a finer tip on it. And then just hold it flush with the ball, 10 seconds till it dries. All right, now we do the other side. Same thing, one drop. Tilt this over so that it doesn't spill on my screwdriver and glue the screwdriver to the grip. That wouldn't be good. And then push it down till it's flush. 10 seconds or so. You can take your screwdriver and push it up against the inside of that hole if you want. Just apply more pressure. And that's it. It's already dried on that side. And if you saw that, it's just one tiny little drop. And that's it, okay? Now we're gonna do the Jopo. We've already test fit the Jopo, so we're good to go there. So all we're gonna do is get a popsicle stick. I have a paper towel handy. So I can just put the popsicle stick filled with the glue on that and throw it away. So all you're gonna do is just drip some glue down in there. Not too much, not too little. Don't need a whole bunch. And then we get our popsicle stick and just mix it around in there so that you get all the whole inside of it. There's really no dry spot in there. Just smear it around. Don't worry about the popsicle stick sticking to the glue. It won't happen unless you leave it there. But as long as you're moving it around constantly, you should be good to go. This glue is really strong. And you don't have to use the Bob Smith Industries glue. It's just what I use. You can use other glue, but just be aware if you do decide to take this out, you drill out this hole. It may be a pain in the butt to get it out. I haven't used any other glue, so I can't really speak of any other glue. This is the cheapest I found. And then we take this line it up, push it down quickly, and that's it, okay? So all we do is let that dry for about 5 minutes, and the next step we're gonna do is cut that top of this down flush to the ball. So one thing that Jopo sells is a centralizer. You may have seen that on my older videos. It's $160, and what it is just a stainless steel piece that fits in to your drill chuck when you're trying to line up the bit to pull this out if you're ever drilling these out. Or you can just put it in here when you're gluing the Jopo outer, and what it does is pushes up against that Jopo outer up against the wall for the glue to adhere a little bit better. So what I've done in the meantime, because I don't have my Jopo centralizer anymore, is I just put this screwdriver in. So you can put in something that just fits in snug, and this is essentially pushing up against the wall there of the Jopo. And it's already dry. This glue sets in 10 seconds, so it's not really necessary, but you can do it if you want. And there you go. It's a makeshift centralizer for a couple bucks. And so the very last step we're gonna do is just trim this Jopo outer down so it's flush to the ball. I draw a few circles on there. If you've seen my other videos, you know why I do that. And so the first thing I do is I'm going to zero out the XY table. Loosen up the knobs here. And we go 0. Tighten up the knobs on the XY axis. And we get our plug cutter out, right? And all I'm gonna do is check the 0, right? And make sure that it's zeroed out. So I just bring this down and 0. And then all you got to do is just bring this up so that it's lined up with this plug cutter right in the middle. And we just cut that down flush, really easy. And I don't bother with adjusting the RPM on the mill press. You can keep it where it's at, not a huge deal. Make sure your top plate is lined up. And I'm just bringing this down until those white pencil marks start to smear, letting me know that the plug cutter is flush. Okay, see that? That's it. Told you it was easy. And then what I normally do is I'll get the vacuum, get out any remaining shavings there. And then the plug cutter pushes the top, kind of the top edge down and in. So it creates these little flaps. And all I do is you get a $7 bevel knife and you just go around the edge. Just like this. Important thing, you do not want to bevel the inside of that because your JoPo will have a giant gap when you put your JoPo inner in there. So you don't want to do that. And we already cut it pretty flush with the plug cutter, so you don't need to do too much beveling with the knife just to finish it up. Make it a little bit smoother here. Like I said, what I do is I just look at it from the angle there to make sure that it's flush and none of the JoPo is actually sticking up out of the ball. So last step is just to clean the ball off, clean the pencil markings off the ball. And if you press down too far with your plug cutter and you left scrapes on your ball, you can always take a sanding pad and just sand that and get it nice and flush again. Little tiny mark right there, I'm not too worried about it. It'll go away in a couple games. But if you're paranoid about any kind of scratches, you can always just take that out. And you may see a couple lines from the jig, the top jig. All you do, and that, if the ball is a little bit softer, sometimes that'll do that with some of the balls. Not all the balls, but just some. And you just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and just rub it off. It comes right off. And if you don't do that, it'll come off in a couple games. It's not a huge deal. There we go. Can't see them anymore. They're all gone. A little bit more here. Boom. So all your lines are gone. And we've got a brand new ebonite crusher. So the layout is 55 by 4 by 35. I will go roll this and I will do a review on this and let you guys know how it rolls for me. So there you have it, guys. Ebonite crusher, layout to drill in under 30 minutes. This is the 16-pound ball I got from Buddies for $70. So don't sleep on these 16-pound balls. If you normally roll 15, give a 16 a shot. You never know. You may like them. And you can get 2 balls for the price of 1. Seriously. So if you like this format video, just kind of me drilling for about 20 minutes, talking about my whole step-by-step process of what I do and how I do it, let me know down in the comments. If you prefer the YouTube shorts where I add music to it, let me know that as well too. I'm going to kind of mix it up and do both. And then I'm going to do a live stream every week. And hopefully I can drill a ball every week. If not, then we'll just talk about bowling and have a good time. But anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure to give a like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.